Om Sai Ram. Let's start a new course of Indian heritage and culture. This is for class 9 and we are going to do chapter 1 today, and from chapter 1 we are taking part 1. So it's Indian heritage and culture. So what are we going to do in this chapter? What are the objectives? We will first understand the concept and meaning of culture. What do we mean by culture? What is the meaning of culture? How do we see the culture around us? And then we'll try to study the relationship between culture and civilization. So we should know the meaning of these terms. What is culture? What is civilization? As the chapter progresses, we will learn about it. So what is culture? Culture, this word has come from Latin word cult or cultus, which means cultivating, refining, tilling or worshipping. There is another word in Sanskrit which is called Sanskriti, and this also has the same meaning as culture. That's why they both have been taken together. So what is this word Sanskriti? This is taken from Kri dhatu or Kri root. Kri means some action, something to do, some kriya. But this is verb, that's why it's called Kri dhatu. Then words from Kri dhatu are prakriti, basic matter or condition. What we see around us is basic matter. That is called prakriti. Then Sanskriti, refined matter or condition. What do we do with prakriti? We refine it, we make it better for us. That becomes Sanskriti. And then we have Vikriti. Vikriti is modified or decayed matter or condition. It's basically you are learning what can be done with Kri dhatu. So now we are going to learn what is the similarity between culture and Sanskriti. So culture stands for tradition and the way to do things. So Sanskriti too means to do things in a traditional way. So what is a tradition? Tradition is transmission of ways of living, belief system from generation to generation. For example, if you are born in a particular family, you will learn their way of worshipping, the kind of dress that everybody will wear. You will also wear that kind of dress. You will learn the language from your mother, from your father. All these things, the way you dress up, what you eat, how you speak, how you basically conduct yourself, how you walk, how you talk, how you greet others, how you sit also. Everything depicts, everything shows your culture. And Sanskriti too means to do things in a traditional way. Traditional meaning something which is coming to you from generation to generation. Not that your father has started it. His father was also doing it. And his father's father was also doing it. So that is called tradition. It is coming to you from a long tradition. So that is called culture or Sanskriti. So then what is culture? So culture, as in your book, it says it's a way of life. Way of life meaning the way you live your life will show your culture. The food you eat, clothes you wear, language you speak, and the god you worship, etc. We basically understand culture meaning only cultural activities, dance, drama, singing, talking, or worshipping. Not only that also is a part of culture, but everything, the way you live your life is a part of your culture. So the food you eat, the clothes you wear, all those things. It is a way in which we think and do things also. So our culture shapes our way of thinking also. Indians have a different culture, they will think in a different manner. Americans have a different culture, they will think in a different manner. That some other countries, some other states, culture differs from place to place, from region to region. So way of thinking is also very different. So where you stay, you think of this place where you are staying, your school, your hostel. There is a particular culture. You have to live in a particular manner. You have to talk in a particular manner, which is all about taking care of others, talking softly, not talking too much, being silent, and helping others. All these are the way of thinking, belief system, that this is the good way of living. So that becomes our culture. It may not be so in some other hostels of the city. So I hope you have understood what is the meaning of culture. It is about doing things that we have inherited from our society. Inherited meaning which we have got from our society, from our family, from our forefathers. That is the meaning of inherited. So it is passing from generation to generation. That is the way of living, the way of thinking, the way of celebrating, the way of everything, the way you live. That is all about your culture. So what is the concept of culture? Concept of culture meaning the theory part of it. How do we understand culture? Examples of it. So all the achievements of human beings as members of social groups can be called as culture. So what is the example of it? Achievement of human beings example? Art. This is an achievement of a human being. Music, literature, architecture, sculpture, philosophy, religion, science, all these things these are a part of culture. And then customs. That means what are customs? Customs are rituals that you do. Marriage is performed in a particular manner, performed by certain people. Some people should be there blessing. All those things, they make the customs. So any particular ceremony that you do, it is related to doing it in a particular manner. That is called a custom. Traditions, festivals, way of living, and one's outlook on various issues of life. One's outlook on various issues of life is based on values. So if you are a student of Sathya Sai Grama, you will have a value system which is in accordance with what Swami says, which is in accordance with what our scriptures say. Okay, so that will make your own way of looking at things. How you look at life, how you look at, life is to serve others, life is to love your God. That is your outlook. So what decides your outlook? The culture decides your outlook. Where have you got the culture from? The culture, this particular culture, you have got from this society where you are living, which is your hostel, your educational system. That is a part of your society. This is a colorful picture of, to show the dance and drama, which is also a part of culture. You must have seen such colorful performances. They also differ from region to region. Food is a part of culture. What you can see, what kind of food is that? Do you think it's an Indian food? No, it looks like a Thai or a Chinese food. So the way, these are not the spoons, they are tongs. How you eat with them, there's a particular way. You will not know. But people of Thailand, people of China, Malaysia, they will know how to eat from these because it is a part of their culture. Can you tell me, looking at these, that what part of culture is this? I can give you a hint. It's a Bihu dance. Oh, it is written also there. And this is from the state of, Indian state, Assam. So see, look at their artifacts. So these are called artifacts. What? This first thing that you are seeing, that jute, big hat kind of a thing, it is basically for decoration, not to wear it. It's very big. The dance, and look at the same design in their clothes also. Look at the what they call gamucha, that is the towel, very thin towel, which they put. They have wrapped their drum also with that. And then you have this little cloth pattern also. It is very typical of this particular place, Assam. So you will look at it and you will say, oh, this is from Assam. How will you say? You will say through the artifact, the way it is made. So you will know, oh, it is from Assam. The dance, oh, this is an Assamese dance, but its name is Bihu dance. So culture is a human-made environment. How? Humans make a culture. When humans stay together, they discover various things in their culture. They form their culture basically. The language, art, music, dance, all those things are human-made. That's why culture is a human-made environment. So culture makes a human environment which includes the following. And the humans also make the cultural environment, which includes the following. All material aspect of culture. What is material aspect? something that is tangible. You can touch it, you can feel it, you can see it. So that is also a part of culture. For example, houses, the way our architecture is, the way we make our houses. You can look at them and say, oh, it looks like a very Indian kind of a hut. Or then, some other kind of houses, you will say, oh, this is not an Indian. This looks like a Scottish home, or, Britain or European home. So that also will tell you which culture does this house belong to. Clothes, definitely, what kind of clothes you wear will tell which country are you from or which place are you from. North Indians will be wearing mostly salwar kameez, the women, and South Indian women will be generally wearing saris and, like that. Then you have buildings or architecture, houses, same thing. Even furniture, what kind of furniture you have? Jute furniture, English furniture, Indian furniture, traditional furniture. Have you seen some very traditional cane Indian furniture? You can look at it and you can say, oh, this is from India. Even if you get it in some other country, you can still say this is from India. So that is how you get to know, from things you get to know this belongs to that particular culture. All non-material aspects. So first was material aspect and now non-material. Non-material is which you can't touch, you can't see, but you know. For example, beliefs. You have certain belief system. I love Swami, I follow Swami. This is a belief system. I believe in Swami. Swami is God. I am also God. These are some belief systems. So you have belief. So that is also a part of the culture. And then tradition. Tradition is what we have already discussed. It comes from your forefathers, father, grandfather, grandfather's father, like that. Values. Values is again but what we had discussed. Every particular culture has certain values which are considered right or considered wrong. Every culture there are certain things which are considered right, which are considered, and some are considered wrong. Language. Your language is also a part of your culture. Some people speak whatever native language. So, okay, if you are speaking Kannada, people will understand, oh, you are from Karnataka. How will they know? Because you are speaking the regional language. So, they will know because this particular language belongs to that particular region. And this language is a part of the culture of that region. So, through culture, you will be known. So, these are transmitted from one generation to another. So these are some examples. These are not given in your book. I have just tried to gather it from YouTube to make it more simpler for you so that you get more idea. So there is a term, explicit and implicit pattern of behavior. You might find it a bit confusing. So that's why I gave you these pictures. So what is explicit? Basically what we talked about, material culture, that is explicit. What you can see, what you can touch, what you can feel. You can see, you can touch, and you can see the shape, and all the other aspects are very visual. This is called explicit culture. What is implicit culture? Implicit culture is what is hidden behind it, which you can't see, but it is still there. For example, your belief system, your values. So the way you will act will depend on what kind of value you have. Some people are very calm, they will talk very politely. Some people will talk very roughly, shout. So it all shows what kind of culture they are coming from. If they are coming from very shouting backgrounds, they will be shouting all the time. If they are coming from very peaceful backgrounds, they will be very quiet and very polite in talking. So this is the difference between explicit and implicit pattern of social behavior. Now two things come here in explicit and implicit pattern of social behavior, which is symbols and artifact. So you can see the symbols. Look at this picture at your left. There is this some kind of script is written there. It's a very old, and how old it is, historians can actually calculate by looking at it, which particular place it is coming from. By its way of writing, they can get to know which place it is from, which region it is from. What kind of writing is this? Even to your right side, what you see, this particular, this face mask. So that again, the way it has been formed, and there are certain things, they are very typical of that culture. So the people, the historians will look at this figure and they will tell, this is coming from this culture. By the way, this is from this American tribe, long time back. And how long? Maybe around 1200 BC. So they will get to know through these kind of calculations. They will calculate, looking at this, they can match it with, okay, this kind of design, when was it there in the history? Okay, in this year. So this particular figure belongs to that part of it, history, and that particular part of culture. So looking at it, you will tell this is from that culture. So look at this, another, this is from Egyptian culture. You will look at it and you will not say this is Indian culture. You will not say this is American culture. This is so typical. Half face is of lion, rest of the body is of human. This is very Egyptian culture. If you remember the Egyptian pyramid, even above on the top of the Egyptian pyramid, again you see this kind of a figure. Half lion's face, half, So this is, and there are poles here. It is like a temple setting. The people will look at it and they will say that this is from Egyptian culture. Egypt is a country in Africa, and it is considered to be very old. The cultural tradition is very, very old. Now, how do you now understand culture? I hope you have got some understanding of culture. So I have tried to give you a gist of it, or summarize, give you short points of it. So culture belongs to a geographical area. Okay, that we have understood. For example, the culture of North Karnataka or Karnataka will be different from Andhra Pradesh. Even so neighboring states, still there will be difference in culture. No, the language is different, the way of dressing up, the art and craft is different, food is different. So this is how. Even why to say that, even you look at your hostel, ashram, the hostel and the ashram has a particular kind of a culture. When you go out of it, change your geographical area, just go out of the gate and you see still people are influenced by the serenity of this place. Still they will have a different way of talking, a different way of walking, a different way of dressing up. All that you will find. So culture is very much area specific, geographical area. It can be transmitted by artifacts or people. For example, you can see our own symbol. What is the symbol of our own this Sathya Sai Grama? That particular logo. You will look at that logo and that sign which is there, and you will say, oh, this is from Sathya Sai Grama, Muddanhalli. You can say that, no? How can you say that? Looking at that artifact or that symbol. Or people. If they come and tell you, Om Sai Ram, how are you? You will, oh, you are from Sai family, like that. How? Through the language, the way they behave with each other. This is how we know each other, through this culture. There is a culture, you can see touch, which is called explicit culture. And when you look at the inside values of it, it is called implicit culture. And what are festivals? This is just an extra example. It is not from your book, but you should have a good understanding. Then only we can move on. So what are festivals? Festivals are both explicit and implicit. For example, you take Diwali. Diwali is going to come now. So how is it? What is the explicit form of Diwali? Explicit, what you can see. How do you symbolize Diwali? You symbolize Diwali with lightened diyas or maybe some nice green crackers. This is how you can see, you can symbolize with Diwali. Now, what is implicit aspect of Diwali? There are certain values attached to why do we celebrate Diwali? Okay, it is we celebrate to welcome God in our life, like that. So this is the implicit part of the festival. So every festival is both explicit because it is celebrated in a particular manner. Holi, Diwali, Raksha Bandhan, they are celebrated with certain symbols. So that is the explicit part of it. And implicit part of it is the value hidden. Another is touching feet. When you touch feet, it is the explicit expression of implicit value. So see, understand this. Explicit expression of implicit value. What is the implicit value of it? To show respect to elders. And how do we show respect to elders? In India, it is again cultural specific. In India, we show our respect to our elders by touching their feet. So it is not so in the other cultures, but it is there in the culture of India. I hope you have understood it. Again, culture, artifacts and symbols. There are meanings denoted by these symbols and artifacts. Again, I've taken another example of swastika. Hindu, if you look at swastika, it is a sign of auspiciousness, it's a sign of God. But if you put it, turn it a bit and put it as a Nazi flag, same swastika has a different meaning, and you will know, no, this is not swastika. This is for Nazi flag, and it denotes a different meaning. You look at conch, shank, which is related to Vishnu. So you will look at the picture, you see conch, okay, it can be a artifact, or it can be, when it is kept in a temple, okay, it is for doing the arti. If it is given to a particular statue, you will say this has to be a statue of the Vishnu, because conch is related to Vishnu. Like that we relate symbols with particular people, it has a different meaning, and then people communicated through them, through symbols. Language is also a symbol. And what do we do with language? Written language, spoken language, it is all symbol. We know the meaning because we belong to this particular place. If you speak in your native language, now English has become an international language, that's why we are speaking in English. But otherwise, you speak in your native language, that is also a part of your culture. And the people express their values through them. So you can express your values through art. You can express your value through the way you dress up. You can express your values through what you eat, how you speak. All that will depict your culture through artifact and symbols. So this particular slide was how culture can be represented or can be shown with the help of artifacts. What are artifacts? Anything which is artistic, some product of artistic nature. So, and symbols. So these we discussed. Conch we discussed, swastika, or our own logo which we make, or Prashanthi Nilayam's logo. You look at it and you say, oh, this is Sarvadharma Stupa. So that is the logo. That belongs to Prashanthi Nilayam. So you look at it and you will say which place it is. That is the importance of symbols. And culture varies from country to country and place to place. And culture varies from region to region, geographical region also. It varies. Varies meaning it is different. It is different from one place to another place. Now let's discuss about culture and civilization. So what do we understand by these two words? Culture, we have understood the way, the values, our value system, belief system, what we are carrying from our generations, how we act in our life. That is all about culture. What is civilization? Civilization is the organized culture. Civilization is a part of it. So civilization shows how do you organize your political system on the basis of your culture. How do you organize your religious activities on the basis of your culture? How do you organize anything, whatever you are organizing? Where are you living? How are you living? Your house, your way of dressing up, your way of decorating your house, everything will show the culture. How people talk to each other, how people interact with each other. This is all a part of civilization. That is the civil behavior. How we stay together. You are all staying in one room, 4, 5 or 10 people stay in one particular room. So that is called, when you take care of others, you don't make noise, you don't talk aloud, because you are aware that there are other people also. They are studying, they are meditating, they are in silence, they want to keep silence. That is called civilization. How do we develop our culture to live with each other? Basically, this is the idea. Let's see what is there in your book. So, culture and civilization. So, culture is a set of values that shape the human society. It is represented by music, literature, lifestyle, food, painting, sculpture, theatre, films, etc. Now, what is civilization? It is a stage of social and cultural development of humans. For examples, complex legal system, political system, religious organizations, writing, which is a very important part of civilization, way of interaction in the society, etc. So through this culture, when people interact with each other, so there are laws, there are communication, it all comes in the name of, when we talk of civilization. Now, what is the difference between civilization and culture? Culture is the higher level of inner refinement of human being. So how you are, how you talk, how you present yourself will all come from your culture. How you have seen your parents talking, how you have seen your grandparents talking, that will slowly come into you also. So you will be carrying your culture with you wherever you go. It is at physical level, how you look, how you dress up, that is the physical level. How you speak, that is the physical level. It is coming from your culture. Your mental level, that is what is your value system. How do you think? Your thinking pattern. Are you helpful? Are you selfish? What kind of a person are you? That will also depend on your mental level. So that also comes from your cultural background. What kind of culture? For example, people here, all those who are staying here, the students, they will have a very selfless kind of a culture, because this is the value they are learning from this environment. And then you have spiritual level. What is the spiritual level? So again, your culture will decide your level of spirituality also. In a way, these two are also related. Your values, your higher values of life will also depend. For example, Indian culture. Vedas are a part of Indian culture. So what does Veda tell you? Vedas tell you, or if Upanishads, you are going through these studies, what do Upanishads tell you? Upanishads tell you that our basic aim of life is to realize our real self, who we are. So how are you learning it? You are learning it through the culture, through your own Indian culture. And Vedas, Upanishads, they are a part, they are the explicit form of our culture. So all these three are related to the culture: physical, mental and spiritual level. And there are better ways of living socially and politically, and better utilization of nature around us is an example of civilization. So with that culture, how we live with each other socially. So you can see your own example, how you live with your fellow beings in a room. Your cultural value will come into play. That you are more selfless. So if there is only one bed cot, and you are thinking who should use it. Maybe through the culture of this place, you would like to give it to your friend rather than to use it for yourself. That is what the culture has taught you. So that is your way of civilization. That means how you stay with each other. That is the meaning of civilization. With the culture you are carrying, how are you staying with each other? Then you have the political understanding also. Your culture will decide. In some countries, you see, there are still kings and queens. Bhutan, Nepal, all these countries, you will see there are kings and queens. Even in Great Britain, there are kings and queens. And there are some countries which have a different culture. For example, India, America, they have democracy. That means there is a government elected by people. So this political organization is also depending on the culture of this particular place. For example, in our culture, what do we believe? We believe in equality of people. That's why we have given way to democracy. Democracy also talks about equality of people. So that is how culture and civilization are related. And then better utilization of nature around us. So what is the better utilization of nature? Meaning, if you remember, generally all these civilizations that occurred in the midst of nature. There will be water bodies around where people stayed. Mostly the earlier Indus Valley civilization, this was the very old civilization. That also got established near the Indus Valley. That means the Indus River around that. So great civilizations occur near the water, because people require water to live and to establish their townships. Water, nature, you require these things to live. So this is the way you utilize the nature to live in a particular society. So, and what is the similarity between culture and civilization? So similarity between cultural civilization is that they are both dependent on one another. Culture influences civilization. That is, however is your culture, same will be, the civilization will be in accordance to that. And however you are civilized, you will form your culture also. Sometimes culture also you change on the basis of how people are living with each other. Sometimes we have to change our culture also. So they are both dependent on each other. And that is, culture defines civilization and civilization refines culture. Defines means it makes it better. So civilization, when people stay together, they may understand, oh, this particular thing is not good in our culture. Let me just modify it. Let me just change it a bit to suit to other people's need also. Maybe in somebody's culture, it is considered very nice to listen to very loud music and, enjoy. But when you stay together, you will understand, oh, my roommate is getting disturbed with that. So what should I do? I should change this part of my culture. Let me not put up very loud music. Let me enjoy myself very personally. Let me not disturb others. This is how you change your culture when you live together. So this is how civilization and culture influence each other. They are both dependent on each other, and both are expressed in the same medium, which is called society. So what is the meaning of this? Culture is also a part of society, and civilization is for the society. So both have society as the medium. On society's ground, culture is also there, civilization is also there. Society is the common thing. So this is another similarity between culture and civilization. Civilization can be a specific part of the culture. So how is your culture? Civilization can take a little part of it. That is, this is how we will behave because our culture says so. Our culture says that we have to dress up like this only. We have to talk like this only. So this is your civilization. How you are talking, how you are, being with each other. And where is it coming from? It is coming from the culture. Many civilizations can be derived out of the same culture. Same culture can give rise to different kind of civilizations also. So this was the last slide. I hope you have understood the difference between culture and civilization and similarity between culture and civilization. So with that we'll end, and you have to answer these questions so that you don't forget what we have learnt, and you will get the answer from your book also and from all the slides also. So don't worry, you can easily check back. Go back and check the slides for the answer. What is culture? First question. So give an answer. Give a very short answer just for your understanding. Then second, do Sanskriti and culture carry the same meaning? How? That also you can check if you don't remember. What is Sanskriti? What is culture? Where is Sanskriti word coming from? What is the similarity between the two? Like that. It was also one of the initial slides. You can go and check. Give 2 similarities between culture and civilization, and give 2 differences between culture and civilization. So please do these questions, answer them, so that you learn these concepts well. So here is another symbol. Do you know what does this symbol say? This symbol, we all know. What does this show? This is a symbol of a culture. This symbol says Namaste. And what is the implicit meaning of this Namaste? Namahate. I bow down to Te meaning the God inside you and the one who is in me. It is the same. That's why both the hands are joined together. So this is a very beautiful understanding of explicit and implicit form of the culture. Thank you. Om Sai Ram.